In Ernest Hemingway's masterpiece, For Whom the Bell Tolls, he gives us two totally different, even opposing, ideas of what it means to be a hero. You've got the classic, tough-as-nails soldier on one side, and on the other, this fierce, earthy leader who just shatters all the rules. Today, we're going to break down these two archetypes. So, let's start with a phrase Hemingway himself made famous: grace under pressure. For him, this was pretty much the definition of courage. It's not about not being scared. Oh no, you're terrified. It's about controlling that fear. It's about acting with skill and calm even when your world is completely falling apart. This idea, it's the absolute key to understanding our first hero.
And this whole idea of grace under pressure, well, it gets wrapped up in a very specific character type you see all over Hemingway's work, the code hero. And honestly, there's no better example than Robert Jordan, the American explosives expert at the heart of For Whom the Bell Tolls.
So, who is this code hero? Well, imagine a guy who's seen the absolute worst of humanity, probably in war. He doesn't believe in big, fancy words like glory or honor anymore. To him, the world just seems random and cruel. So, to fight back against that chaos, he creates his own rulebook, a personal code, to give his own life some meaning, some kind of structure. To really get this hero, you have to understand what he's up against. Hemingway had a word for it: nada. It's Spanish for nothing, and man, it's this terrifying feeling that the universe is just empty, that there's no big plan, no God, no afterlife, just a big, gaping nothingness. And listen to how Robert Jordan describes it. It's not just some abstract idea for him, it's a feeling, a physical sensation. He feels like he's trapped in this endless, dark tunnel that just leads to more nothing. That's the inner demon, the nada, that the code hero is always fighting to keep locked away. Okay, so how does this all play out with our main guy, Robert Jordan? He used to be a university professor, of all things, but now he's an explosives expert, fighting for the Republicans in the Spanish Civil War. And his mission? It's simple, and it's deadly. Get behind enemy lines and blow up a bridge. That's it. So how does he fight that dark passage in his head? With the code. And the rules are pretty straightforward. Don't talk too much, don't complain, don't overthink. Keep your emotions locked down. Focus on what's real, what you can touch and taste, the wine, your food, the mechanics of your work. And whatever you do, do not let your mind spiral into all the horrible ways you could die. Now get this, the whole book takes place in just over 70 hours. That's it. And Jordan knows, he's pretty sure, he's not walking away from this one. So he comes up with this incredible philosophy. If you can live intensely enough, if you can feel everything deeply enough, then these 3 days can be just as full, just as meaningful as a whole 70-year lifetime. And this quote right here, it gets to the absolute heart of it. Jordan literally forces himself to find value, to find happiness in this exact moment because he's convinced that now is all any of us really have. He is ready to trade a long life for a full one. So Jordan seems like the perfect hero, right? He's brave, professional, totally in control. But here's where Hemingway does something brilliant. He introduces another character who is every bit as heroic, but in a totally opposite way. A character who just smashes all of Jordan's rules to pieces.
And that character is Pilar. She's the real leader of this group of guerrilla fighters that Jordan hooks up with. And she is everything he's not. She's loud, she's messy, she's emotional, she's superstitious, and she is, without a doubt, the most powerful person in the entire story.
See, the official leader of the band is her man, Pablo. But Pablo, he's a broken hero. He's become a drunk, he's terrified, and he only cares about his own survival. He's basically what happens when a code hero loses the code. Pilar sees this weakness, this vacuum, and she just steps right into it, taking command not by asking, but just by sheer force of will.
And this quote, wow, it just shows you her power right there. She doesn't ask permission. She just declares it right in front of all the men. She says Pablo's done and she's in charge now. And guess what? They all accept it. Because deep down, they know it's true. Her strength is just undeniable.
Pilar's heroism isn't built on some quiet, personal code of self-control. No way. Her power is rooted in something way more primal, more earthy, more mysterious. She gets her strength from the earth, from her gut feelings, and from staring the ugliest parts of life right in the face.
And get this. She claims she has a supernatural power. She says she can literally smell when someone is going to die.
Now, for a logical, scientific guy like Robert Jordan, this is just impossible. It's not tactics, it's not strategy, it's magic, and he just can't accept it.
Her description of this smell is just wild. It's grotesque, yeah, but it's also completely natural. She connects death directly to the cycle of the earth. You know, flowers rotting back into the soil. For her, death isn't some abstract nothingness. It's a physical, earthy, and totally unavoidable part of life.
But maybe her greatest bravery is moral. See, where Jordan suffers his fears in silence, Pilar's courage comes from speaking ugly truths out loud. She tells Jordan this horrifying story about how her own side, led by Pablo, got drunk and brutally murdered all the fascists in their town. She forces everyone, including the reader, to face the fact that in war, nobody's hands are clean.
This quote really captures her whole philosophy. She's seen heroes come and go. She knows that explosive, flashy kind of courage, it burns out. It doesn't last. So what does? Endurance, the strength to survive, to just keep going. And then she asks, but for what? And the answer is right there in the silence. To carry the memories and to lead those who are left.
And that right there brings us to the core conflict of the novel. You've got these two powerful ways of being a hero. Robert Jordan's is like a stick of dynamite, one single, perfect, explosive, meaningful act. But Pilar's is like the earth itself. It has the strength to endure, to survive, and to keep life going.
I mean, just look at this breakdown. It lays out their differences so clearly. Jordan's bravery is grace under pressure. Pilar's is all about facing ugly truths. His focus is the mission. Hers is the survival of the group. He lives a whole lifetime in 70 hours, while her entire motto is basically, I last. At the end of the day, he's destined for a heroic death, and she is destined for a heroic life. And in the end, Robert Jordan absolutely fulfills the destiny of the code hero. He does it perfectly. He's wounded, he can't escape, so he stays behind with a machine gun to buy his friend's time. It's a meaningful, controlled, and selfless death. In his own way, he wins his fight against Nada. But the story doesn't stop there, because you could argue that Pilar has the much harder job. She's the one who has to lead the survivors away, back into the mountains. She has to carry the memory of Jordan, the failure of the mission, and the incredible, crushing weight of having to keep on living and fighting in a world that's been broken.
And that leaves us with this final question. In a chaotic world where there are no easy answers, what does real heroism look like? Is it that perfect, explosive sacrifice that gives life meaning at the very end? Or is it the messy, difficult, and profound strength it takes to just endure?